Hey guys, it's Blaize, and yes, I'm finally able to speak again. I had strep or something and I lost my voice for a few days, so I've been in bed, and even though I've been really sick, I came up with a few, my nose itches, I came up with a few video ideas, and a lot of people have requested videos for me to do, and this is one of them. So this is my anti-bullying video. I think this is a video that a lot of people, most people can relate to, because I don't think I know like one person who wasn't bullied for some reason or another. And it's, you know, it's been an epidemic since like the invention of bullying, and it's still going on today. So I thought I would share a few of my experiences with bullying. When I graduated high school, I was so happy for so many different reasons, but one of them was that I wouldn't have to deal with high school drama and deal with bullying anymore. I thought that as you became an adult, bullying would stop, and that's not true. As long as there are mean people and cruel people in the world, there's going to be bullying. So becoming an adult does not stop it. I started getting bullied when I was very, very young in elementary school. I want to say about third grade. And third grade was when I started having my severe, and I cannot say severe so strongly, of my panic attack disorder and all of that. And it was just a very horrible grade for me. And the next few grades were not really any better. First of all, I grew up in a very, very small town. It's legit 1 square mile. So everybody knew everybody, and this was in New Jersey. So I first started getting bullied because as a child, I know my mom's gonna disagree with this, I was not a very attractive child. I wish I was as skinny as I was then, but I was like a little tiny toothpick, smaller than my chubby finger, my pinky now. I always had boy cut short hair, and I don't know why I always had that kind of hair, because I wanted long hair so bad, but I'm just sorry, a song is playing that I absolutely love and is sentimental. So with me, I still have it to this day where I am extremely impulsive, and as you can tell, I love doing my hair. And when I was younger, and right now, I don't like looking the same for too long. For some reason, I want to look different, like all the time. It's like I'll love my appearance for a week, maybe at most, and then I'll be like, all right, I want to change it. So I don't know why I got my hair cut so often, and I was bullied for that, you know. I had, when my teeth, before I got my braces, my 2 front teeth were very crooked, or very far apart, and I was made fun of for that. Just my overall appearance, I was a twig. I looked messy, and I didn't develop as early as a lot of the other girls. So, my appearance was a big issue when I was in school. I'm not going to use any real names of these people, because some of them have actually become friends of mine on Facebook, and even though I'll never find them as friends, just in case they watch this video. So I was also made fun of a lot because my family, it's not like we were living on the streets, but we were not as well off as a lot of the other kids at school. And a a boy that I was neighbors with, who I was in love throughout my whole entire childhood, even though he was so cruel and so mean to me. He, I guess through talk of the neighborhood, found out the situation of my family getting evicted from our first house because we could not continue paying to live there. So I was made fun of a lot for not having money and having to wear hand-me-downs and wear clothes that was not in style, and clothes that I didn't even want to wear, but they were all the clothes I had. And I cannot stretch how much I wanted to fit in with these kids in elementary school. I wanted them to accept me so much, to the point where, and my mom is so upset about this because she didn't really know too much about this back then, but I would actually take gifts that were given to me, like jewelry items, just miscellaneous stuff, and I would give them to these girls, to the popular girls, and the smart girls, and all of them, because at my school the smart and popular girls were together. So I would give them these gifts, and I would say, I want you to have them. And I would even, like, I was a child, so I was like, these are real diamonds, and I would try to impress them and just to get them to like me, and I wanted to be part of the cool crowd. So they would take them, they'd be like, yeah, thanks, and just bully me more. The boys who I had the biggest crushes on when I was little, I gave them, and the girls, but mostly the boys, because they were the ones who asked most of the time. Like I said, my family was not we weren't rich at all in any way. I would actually give them my lunch money. And that's really, really horrible when I go back and I think about it, that I was giving these monsters, these horrible, mean little kids, my lunch money so they can go and buy a soft cookie. And they can go and buy snacks like fruit roll-ups and stuff. And they'd be like, thanks, man. And then go and snicker behind my back, because they knew every time that they asked, I would give it to them. So I just wanted so desperately to be liked that I was literally giving people gifts that were supposed to be for me and money that were supposed to go towards food to kids who had the money and were straight up cold and mean for no reason. They didn't know who I was. So they didn't know anything about me. They just knew that I was a dork. A couple of the boys found out about this huge crush I had on this one boy. Let's call him Alan. And Alan and a few more of the boys that I kind of had a little bit of crushes on, they called me on my house phone when I was 11 or 12. And they were, I guess, were having a get-together or sleepover or hanging out after school or something. And they called me. I don't know how they got my phone number, but they called me. And I cannot tell you how excited I was that these people were calling me, these guys were calling me. And when I heard his voice on the other end, I was like, oh my God, yes, thank God, finally. Maybe he really does like me and he just doesn't want people to know, or he's just, whatever. I actually ran screaming into the living room and fell on the floor, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so in love. But they called me and it was a prank phone call. They were laughing and snickering in the background, making it seem like this guy liked me. And it was just one of those pranks where he was like, okay, she's got a huge crush on me, she's a huge dork, let's prank call her and make her think that I like her. And the next day when I went to go speak to him, he just kind of brushed me off and pretended that I wasn't even there, and was laughing with the other boys that were there the previous day. So then I realized, oh, okay. And I just kind of, even though I was crying hysterically and dying inside, I was just like, oh, okay, sorry, I took it the wrong way, and I would apologize when I had no reason to apologize. These assholes were the ones who should have apologized. So I was also made fun of from 5th grade till about 8th grade for being Jewish. Like I said, I grew up in a very small town, and there was, in my school, there were 2 other Jewish girls, and one, the guy who lived next door to me, who I was in love with my whole life, he was Jewish, half Jewish, and they went to Hebrew school, and their families were like practicing Jews, and my family was not. We were conservative Jews. You know, we celebrated Hanukkah, you know, we celebrated acknowledged Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and all of that, and we, you know, I was taught all about my Jewish heritage and everything that happened during World War II, and just the history of the Israelites and just everything. So I was educated. But these kids, the 2 girls, were very popular and very smart. And the boy was very, very popular. So they weren't made fun of for being Jewish. It was just me. And this one boy, I remember it like it happened yesterday, in 7th grade. Let's call him Chuck, who was a boy who I had a pretty good crush on. And we were in class, and he was going, ew, what the hell is that smell? And like, this was before class had started, and everybody was like chatting, and I sat kind of diagonally right behind him, and he was like, it's her, isn't it? And I was like, great, now what? And he was like, excuse me, but do you Jews ever take showers? Have you people from Israel ever heard of deodorant? And I was like, I don't smell, and I'm not from Israel, and no, Jews don't smell. And you know, he just kept going on. He's like, you know, and over the years it progressed to being called a kike. How original. But with this incident, that was really, really painful to deal with. And later on that day, we were in gym class, and we were playing dodgeball, and he got hit in the nuts with the ball. So I laughed, because I was like, that's instant karma right there. You know, he deserved it. And usually I wouldn't have laughed, but he had just insulted me and my heritage and my people. So, and I'm pretty sure there were other kids who were laughing too, but he saw me laughing and went straight to the principal. So I was called down to the principal's office, and the principal, disgusting man, said, is it true that you laughed when Chuck got hit in the testicles with a ball and had to go to the nurse's office for? And I said, yes, but there's a reason I laughed. And he was like cutting me off, and he was like, no, there's no reason ever to laugh for somebody getting hurt, and you need to apologize right away. And I said, I'll apologize as soon as he apologizes for what he said to me. And I tried to explain what he had said, and that he was bullying me. And the principal's like, no, those are words. I don't care about that. I want you to apologize for this boy getting physically hurt. And I was like, how can you not why can't we make it so I apologize for laughing at him for getting hurt, and he apologizes to me for calling me a smelly Jew? But that wasn't important enough to get in trouble for in that school. So I got detention. He didn't even get a talking to. He wasn't even spoken to, like, all right, apologize to her, or that's not appropriate, you don't talk like that. He just got off with it. And I was the one who got in trouble. The other 3 Jews were the only ones. There was 4 Jewish kids in my school. And I was the only one who was made fun of for being Jewish because I was not the smart, popular crowd, attractive, which came from a little bit more money. So I was the only one who was made fun of for being Jewish. And that in itself was confusing, but I understood that I was not popular. I was not attractive. I had a learning disability, a severe learning disability. So it's not that I wasn't smart, it's that I needed to be taught a different way. So, but as kids, they don't understand that. As kids, they just want to be really mean, and they see things in black or white. They don't see the gray areas. So, starting from 3rd grade on till about 8th grade, I was bullied for having panic attacks. They would always catch me in class shaking and hyperventilating and sweating and crying, and they would mimic what I was doing. They would mimic shaking, and they would mimic crying. Oh, I'm so crazy, and I'd be called crazy, and I'd be called strange, and they told me that I belonged in a mental asylum or something, and just calling me these just horrific names. And they were like, why do you always shake? You're like a little dog. What the hell is wrong with you? And that was really hard for me to deal with because I didn't even know at the time what was wrong with me. So I was like, well, they're right. I shouldn't be like shaking like this, and I shouldn't be hyperventilating. I shouldn't be like jetting out the door of my classroom to go to the bathroom and wash my face and pass out on the floor because I was hyperventilating and I wasn't breathing properly. And like, this went on for a couple years. And then by middle school, first year of middle school, I was starting to get physically bullied for the same reasons. And there was this one incident where outside the school, me and a friend at the time were stopped by these 2 extremely popular girls who were early bloomers, and they were pretty, they were the pretty girls. They're the pretty mean girls. And they had used to be my friends, but stopped being my friends. And this happened a lot through school, and it happens a lot now. And they got in my face and my other friend's face, but mostly mine, and were, saying, because I had gone to the counselor that was at my public school, and I told them what had been going on, and they were like, are you snitching, bitch? It's just like we were all 11 and 12 years old, and they were just saying things that I don't believe 11 and 12-year-olds should be saying, but they're like, you want to fuck with us, you want to, it's like, you want to snitch on us, it's like, oh my god, you're such a little pussy, blah blah blah. And she shoved me. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah shoved me, and my immediate reaction was to drop my school books, and I kind of went like that into her face. And that was like the first time I actually did that, because from that age to younger, I was a pussy. I never stood up for myself once, ever. I just cried and hated myself. and hated my life. I hated school because I didn't want to go because this is what was happening every day. And and she was like, oh, you want to get it right? You want to fight? You want to fight? I'm like, you pushed me first. And we were right outside the store where my aunt worked. So her boss, rest in peace, who just died recently, came outside, and he didn't recognize me, but he's the one who came outside and said, no, you're not doing this here. You got to do this. You do it somewhere else or I'm calling the cops. And if he hadn't done that, I'm afraid I really would have gotten my ass beat real bad. And after we were able to escape to this friend's house, we were both crying hysterically, and I told my mother what had happened, and I told my aunt what had happened, and we had a whole meeting at the school, and I got them suspended for a few days. And then kids who were older than me, who were friends with them, started bullying me about this. And they were like, you want to get my friends kicked out of school, you little shit, and just saying just really mean things, and saying things that, you know, bullies say. So when I graduated from high school, I was like, I don't have to go to school anymore, you know, but you know, my years in high school, I wasn't bullied. I wouldn't use the word bullied. I kind of, since I went to an alternative school, I kind of learned to, in that school very, very quickly, like within the first day, that it was kill or be killed, eat or be eaten. And I was like, all right, I really got to step up my game. These kids are dangerous, some of them. So when I finally graduated high school, I was like, maybe the high school drama and the bull crap and all of this will stop. But I'm 27 years old currently while I've made this video, in case I'm watching this video or anybody else watches this video when I'm not 27. When I was 19 years old when my fiance, Corey, passed away. And you know the whole story of that. I made one of my first videos I ever made, which you can see if you subscribe now. I made a whole video talking about that incident, how I was the one who found his body, and how that was just so horrible. And at his service, at his house after his service, there were friends of his, who I can tell you right now he hated. Most of them. Not, some of them he did love. But they all, like I said in that video, every single one of them turned their back on me. Every single one. As soon as he died, they only were nice to me because I was engaged to him. And they didn't want to piss him off. So, because everybody, like, adored him and wanted to be him. And it's just, and rightfully so. He was just an extraordinary human being. And so they were all going to be going to a friend's house, and they invited me out of, you know, being polite, but I said I'd rather stay here and be with his mother and father and be with my family, you know. And they're like, all right, whatever. And they kind of seemed a little bit happy that I turned it down. And I'm sure they were very, very happy that I turned it down. At this, when they went back to this friend's house, all his friends, there had to have been 30 or more people there. And this one girl, who I will not say her name, and I hate having to use her name when I'm talking about other people, because obviously she has the same name as other people. Let's call her, I'd like to call her something. Let's call her Stella. And she ruined my life with both my boyfriends and fiancés and whatever. at this person's house. She started spreading a rumor that Corey did not pass away from a seizure or anything like that, natural causes. She said he killed himself and I would too if I had to put up with her crazy ass, which was weird because she is legit psychotic. But that, when I first heard from a mutual friend at the time that she had said that, I was already still in complete shock and in mourning over what had happened. And to hear that, I broke down. And to this day, it infuriates me so much that somebody would go on the day of somebody's service and say something so cruel and so horrible. And to me, that I consider bullying. She started a rumor and people came to me and asked, was it a suicide? I was like, no, it wasn't a suicide. Read the damn report. He was sick. And that's why he died. And people started looking at me differently. And I was like, are these people really thinking that he committed suicide because of me? That's terrible. And you should all be ashamed of yourselves if you were one of those people. I quickly learned that just because I graduated high school, that drama and bullying was not going to stop. It never will. It's gonna continue until your old age. And so this was my bullying video. If you want to share any of your bullying experiences and get it off your chest or whatever, leave them in the comments. I'm more than happy to read them and respond. Just know that the people who do bully you, these cold-hearted assholes and bitches, they're the ones who have problems, not you. I mean, everybody has problems, but the things that they're bullying you for, whether it be physically, mentally, you know, money-wise, clothes-wise, they're the ones who have the problem, not you. It's nothing that you're doing, and nothing you say, nothing you do is going to stop them. But you do, and you should, stick up for yourself. Unless you're like, I mean, you should always stick up for yourself. But you should definitely, if you're a younger viewer and you're watching this, you should definitely tell an adult, an authority figure about this, to let them know that this is going on so it can be stopped. And thank God, thank the goddess, I do not live in a time in school where I'm still in school and I'm dealing now with cyberbullying, because I've been cyberbullied, but it hasn't really made a difference because I don't know these people, and it's just like random stupid stuff, and I'm just, it's laughable. But I know it's getting a lot different nowadays because they're bullies with a keyboard, so they can say whatever the hell they want and Photoshop whatever the hell they want and post it out there, and that's bullying nowadays, and that's just terrible. And there's kids now who are committing suicide from all of this, you know, being called faggots or fat, all the shaming that is going on. You know, it is terrible, and I would hate to be a kid nowadays in this time period, because my bullying would have definitely been a lot worse, and I don't know how I'd be able to handle it. So when I was in school and that bullying was going on, we didn't have cyberbullying. So it was like straight in your face, which I don't really know what's worse. I think cyberbullying is disgusting. It's because you're behind a computer or a laptop or a phone or whatever. You can say whatever the hell you want, but if you face them face to face, I guarantee you more than half those people wouldn't say anything like that to you in person. So they're pussies, you know, they're little bitches, and you really do not let your life be ruined and revolve around people who have no lives, people who have it worse off than you, because the people that do this do it to make their ego more inflated, and do it to make themselves feel better, and do it to enhance their popular status and make them seem badass when they're not. They're cruel, they're hurtful, they're little insects that should be exterminated. And bullying, no matter what age we're in, it's never gonna end. It's never gonna stop, no matter what. So this is the end of this video. This was a requested video, sort of. So don't forget to subscribe. I'll say the subscribe button is here because it's mirrored. So I think it should be here, but you can see there's a subscribe button. You know where that is. I'm always taking requests. You can follow me on Instagram. It's .blaize, which I will leave the name down below. And if you have any comments or questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll try to make sure to get back to you. So stand up for yourself and stay wicked.